So our little boy Jesus is just a little fella, and he's growing up in Nazareth. And I expect that his home is just as typical as any other home that has children around it. They probably had things like chickens, and I know that they probably had livestock to pull their carts around, and probably dogs and a lot of cats. A typical little house in a typical little town of Nazareth. And this is where Jesus grew up and learned to work with his dad in the carpenter shop. And I expect that he played games with the other kids and everything. He wasn't just always walking around in white with a halo over his head. He was a kid in Nazareth. But it says he never sinned. Can you imagine his younger brother, James, living with somebody like that never sinned, having an older brother that never did anything wrong? Ooh, that'd be something hard to live up to. But right now, Jesus is still a little fella. And one time they were they used to go every year to the Passover feast in Jerusalem. They would walk it from Nazareth to Jerusalem. And there was quite a few people, I think, in their entourage to go to. And the kids were all excited and running around through the crowds and the people walking into Jerusalem. Anyway, came time, the Passover feast was over, and they were going to go home. Mary and Joseph could not find their kid anywhere. They said, "Where is Jesus?" They had walked a long way, and they couldn't find him after walking so far. And Joseph says, "So now we got to go back and look for our kid." So they turned around. They went back to Jerusalem. They were looking everywhere, looking down streets, asking people, "Have you seen Jesus anywhere? Have you seen Jesus?" "No, we haven't." And he said, "Mary, go look over by the pool of Siloam. Maybe he's over there playing with the kids in the pool. We got to find him before we can go home." And finally they found him. And he was talking to the priests and the scribes in the temple. And that's where they found him. And it says that they were astounded because he knew so much about the scriptures, and that he was answering questions that they couldn't answer, and his answers turned out to be the truth. So Jesus showed a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, and also he was being trained by Mary and Joseph with all the old Jewish writings and everything. So anyway, Joseph kind of makes his way through the crowd. "So you're going to go home with us now?" And Jesus said, "Yeah, in a minute, Pa, I'll be there." And so Mary and Joseph backed up and they waited till Jesus was done. Then Jesus went home with them. But Jesus also worked with his dad in the carpenter shop, and he learned how to make a lot of things. He was really popular in Nazareth, and like I said, he loved the animals, he loved the other kids, and he was just such a really wonderful person. And can you imagine having a son that never sins? I can't. Anyway, this was Jesus' life. So I'm going to leave it off there right now. Bye-bye.